Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into some really, unique sources today.
Yeah, excerpts from a live stream, right, from a woman we're calling Nikki.
Exactly. And our mission, our goal for this deep dive is really to pull out the key insights from what's, a pretty uncensored discussion.
Uncensored is one way to put it. It reveals some intense personal conflicts, certainly.
And maybe even some unexpected coping mechanisms playing out.
Definitely. What's truly noteworthy here, I think, isn't just the raw content, but the delivery. You'll pick up on it fast.
How so?
Well, you'll notice a really distinct style. There are these significant moments of digression, an exceptionally high level of intense language, often vulgar.
Right.
And moments where, the sheer speed and volume of her words, it almost seems to overtake the actual message she's trying to send.
So we'll be looking at how that approach impacts her arguments and maybe how you, the listener, perceive it all.
Exactly. And how this approach impacts understanding.
We'll see how Nikki addresses quite a few people, actually, especially Natasha Cooper.
Yes, Natasha comes up a lot.
And how her arguments kind of unfold within this just constant stream of accusations and personal commentary. So,
prepare yourself. It's a raw, unfiltered look at a certain kind of online communication.
Okay, so right from the start, you notice Nikki's style. It's very animated, maybe even scattered.
Highly animated, yeah. She often interrupts herself. She's searching for files or videos on screen.
Oh, right, I saw that. Looking for things.
Yeah, and her train of thought just jumps between wildly disparate topics. It's not just like being disorganized.
There's a real frenetic energy to it, wouldn't you say?
That's a good way to put it. And if you connect this to the bigger picture, this rapid shifting, the difficulty staying on point, coupled with that elevated tone, these bursts of anger, it paints a picture of, intense emotional dysregulation maybe.
Like her mind is just racing.
It suggests something like that, yeah. A mind operating at a hyper-accelerated pace. Think about that long search she does for the alleged JonBenet Ramsey merged photo.
Right, that took a while.
Or, completely out of left field, that sudden, really detailed account of a meal from Cracker Barrel.
Oh yeah, the triple dumpling.
Exactly, triple dumplings. It's these juxtapositions that are so striking.
And speaking of striking juxtapositions, amidst all these really intense arguments, these accusations flying, she keeps detouring.
Yes.
The cats. It's not just once or twice. It feels like a consistent pattern.
It really is. She gets deep into their behavior, new toys, specific cat products, pet cam observations.
Sometimes for minutes at a time, right after yelling about something really serious.
Exactly. And she even admits it's not new. She says, an entire stream could become a whole stream about my cat.
Oh.
She talks about Robbie's cat, Baron, being a whole savage in some video, attacking feet. And she wonders where it came from, a pet store. Then she details her own cats, Pumpkin and Chewy.
Their habits, jumping on counters, sleeping spots.
Even cat litter pads, suggesting wallpapering with them. It's quite something.
It's bizarre. But what do you make of that? These sudden, almost jarring shifts to pets.
Well, these feline detours, they're more than just quirky, right? They feel like these odd emotional circuit breakers.
A way to cope, maybe?
Could be. A way for her to de-escalate her own internal tension, perhaps? Or maybe even, a chaotic attempt to seem more relatable, to diffuse the situation for a second.
It definitely creates a strange rhythm, doesn't it? Intensity, then cats, then back to intensity.
A very oddly compelling rhythm to her rants.
So while the cats are memorable, let's get back to the core issue, the real focus of her outrage in this stream.
Right. Which seems to center on one very specific accusation.
She is absolutely furious about claims that she merged her face with a photo of JonBenet Ramsey.
Yes. She repeatedly calls those accusations heinous, sick, disgusting. The terms are very strong.
So how does she fight back against something like that? Something so, inflammatory.
Her strategy is pretty revealing, actually. She tries to refute it by showing what she claims is the original photo of herself. And she emphasizes, that her head position was natural. Then she challenges Natasha and others run the photo through AI programs.
Dares them to prove it wasn't merged.
Exactly. Prove it.
And it's not just the photo. She also defends her appearance generally, right? Her nose, her eyebrows.
Fiercely. Against any criticism. She pulls up multiple older photos of herself trying to prove her nose has always looked that way.
And points out her eyebrows are naturally blonde.
Yeah, and throughout all this defense, the language, it's not just strong, it often gets so extreme, so repetitive.
To the point where it almost drowns out her argument.
It threatens to, yeah, it can become a barrier to actual communication, calling people fucking dumbasses, hags, trash, idiot. It's relentless.
What's really striking there for me is the intense focus on looks.
Right. Especially when she also claims simultaneously that our looks, our bodies, shouldn't have anything to do with anything.
That's a huge contradiction.
It is. And it's not just simple hypocrisy, maybe. It highlights how performative online personas can be.
Yeah.
Well, people project these idealized values, but then their emotional responses, their actions, they reveal maybe deep insecurities or even strategic moves. It blurs the line between how they see themselves and the image they put out.
Like dismissing other people's filtered photos as a whole joke.
While admitting she uses Snapchat filters herself, filters that are literally changing your face, but she expects people to just know hers are filters.
That internal conflict over appearance is definitely a theme.
And it's just one thread, really. When you move past those personal battles, Nikki's story just explodes into this tangled web of accusations against others.
Mainly Natasha Cooper, it sounds like.
Natasha is definitely a primary target. Nikki alleges a whole range of financial misconduct.
Can you break some of that down? It seems like a lot.
It is a lot. Allegations of misusing GoFundMe money, small amounts for like alleged brain surgery or a podcast.
Okay.
But also bigger sums. Over $1,500 allegedly for a trip related to the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case files she supposedly never got.
Wow, okay. What else?
Claims about a Christmas fund, collecting thousands apparently for struggling families, but then spending it lavishly on her own daughters.
Things like security systems, laptops.
Exactly. And Maud supposedly had no access to the money. Then there's alleged business deception, stealing dresses from her sister, selling them cheap, keeping the cash.
And something about stray cats.
Yeah, collecting money for stray cats in Alabama, but allegedly never feeding them. It's a long list.
And she even listed specific funds Natasha supposedly had. Some sounded kind of jokey, some serious.
Right, things like My Biscuit Fund, Casino Queen Fund, but then also a $20,200 fund for harassing and bullies for Natasha to get a lawyer fund. It runs the gamut.
Plus charging for spirit box sessions. What are those?
It's a thing in some online communities, supposedly for talking to spirits. She allegedly charged $25, but didn't provide the flyers she promised.
Okay, so a wide range of financial accusations against Natasha. But it wasn't just her, right? Tiffany was mentioned too.
Correct. Nikki accuses Tiffany of recording a child her own goddamn family, she says, and sending it around.
Which is interesting because
Nikki herself admits she records phone calls and says she intends to release private chats. It's another one of those striking contradictions.
calling the kettle black almost.
You could say that. She calls Tiffany an alcoholic meth head, a creepy predator, for allegedly putting hidden cameras on her partner while he slept and sharing videos. Again, very strong language.
So condemning others for behavior she seems to engage in, or at least plans to.
Exactly. And she criticizes Natasha for supposedly not caring about her daughters.
While threatening
to rip them to shreds solely based on their looks if Natasha keeps attacking others. It's quite a turn.
And the list goes on. Amy, Lonnie, Rachel.
Yes, she lashes out at them too, calls them flip-floppers, pick-me girls, snakes, users.
People who switch sides, pay others to fight their battles.
Right. She even questions Rachel about sending her money via PayPal, implying it was to, fight battles against Lonnie. It's all very tangled.
This whole deep dive, looking at Nikki's perspective, it really gives you a stark picture of how volatile some of these online spaces can be.
It really does. And look, we have to remain impartial about whether these accusations are true or not. That's not our role here.
Right.
But what's undeniable is just the sheer volume of personal attacks and the extreme, often escalating language.
We've heard her use terms like fucking dumbass, trash, crackhead, predator.
And threatening to expose really personal information about people, their families.
It raises a really important question, doesn't it? What is the human cost of all this?
Absolutely. Given how severe these allegations are, financial fraud, child abuse accusations, being called filth, and a narcissistic sociopath.
And it's all happening publicly.
Very publicly. So it's crucial for you, the listener, to really consider the immense pressure, the emotional toll this must take on the people being targeted.
Especially someone like Natasha Cooper, who seems to be at the absolute center of so many of these claims.
Exactly. The constant barrage. It's hard to imagine.
This whole thing is a fascinating, though pretty uncomfortable case study, isn't it? How public fights can just spiral.
and how it becomes incredibly difficult to sort out the facts from the just sheer emotional outpouring and the personal vendettas.
Especially when the way someone communicates, like Nikki's style here, almost becomes a barrier itself.
Right. So what does this all mean, really, for understanding online communication?
Well,
Our analysis, I think, shows how information, even when it's presented like it's factual, can be so deeply embedded in personal animosity.
to deliver to this overwhelming, aggressive, often self-contradictory style.
Exactly. That style is part of the message in a way.
We've definitely seen the erratic shifts, the intense vulgarity that sometimes feels like it overshadows the actual point.
The accusations just piled on top of more accusations, the seemingly endless cycle of online conflict.
All punctuated by those surreal little breaks to talk about cats.
Can't forget the cats.
Never.
So this deep dive, it leaves you with, I think, a provocative thought to mull over. In this age of uncensored digital communication, where personal grievances can easily become these huge public spectacles, what responsibility do we have as informed listeners
Responsibility in what sense?
in discerning the actual substance, the content from the chaotic delivery, and maybe understanding the very real emotional toll it takes on everyone involved? How do you navigate that?